I'm going to be showing you guys in this video exactly how I responded to this lawsuit and how you can follow my steps and hopefully help you in your process as well. I'm going to be breaking down every single document, every page that was filed to the court by me and how I wrote everything. I'm going to show you guys exactly everything except obviously sensitive information. I even created this chart that you guys are going to be able to download for free, 100% for free. It's going to be down in the links down in the description below. For those who don't know me, obviously, my name is Mitch. I go by Credit Mitch, and I've been a creditor for over 10 years, okay? I know I might not look it, but I am 34 years old, and since the age of 18, I've been obsessed with this. Now, I do want to let you guys know that if you are being sued by a debt collector, I really want you, and I know it's easier said than done, but I literally need you to, like, sit down, take a breath, inhale and exhale. I promise you and I guarantee you it's going to be okay. I know it's nerve-wracking, I know it's scary, but the reason why it's scary, because you don't know what you're doing. You feel overwhelmed. You feel like, you know what, I owe these people. Yes, I did default on this loan, or whatever your case situation is, because honestly, I don't care. Everybody has hard times, tough issues, and, you know, nobody's better than anybody, so I hope that really helps you in your process. Again, you can win your lawsuit, because at the end of the day, the person who is suing you, okay? I don't know how much you've been following me for a while, or you understand how the credit laws work or how debt collectors work, but you need to understand one thing and one thing only. The person or the entity that is suing you is not the original creditor, okay? Let me repeat that again. The entity or company that is suing you is not the original creditor. And what do I mean by that? I mean that the person who is suing you, or the company, is not the person that you owe money to, okay? Like, to me, that's why, like, I'm always going to fight these types of lawsuits or cases or even collection accounts, because why do I have to pay somebody who didn't lend me money? It's like if all of a sudden your neighbor from when you were 10 years old is like, hey, you owe me money, you're gonna be like, what the hell, what are you talking about? No, I don't owe you money. I borrowed money from, you know, your ex-girlfriend's wife or something like that, but I don't owe you money. And you would fight it because, like, you see them and you're able to, like, categorize it as two different people. This is exactly how it is. Citibank and Calvary SPV LLC are two complete entities. They don't have nothing to do with each other. Citibank didn't want to sue me, doesn't even have the proof to be able to sue me, so it's like, you know what, I don't want this. I'm just going to sell this debt for pennies on the dollars. Okay, but that's going to be it for another video. I don't want to overload this video with other information. It's just, this video is just going to be solely focused on how you, if you're being sued, and how to win your credit card lawsuit, and how to, exactly what to do, okay? So first things first, I am going to be doing everything from filing the forms, showing you how to get the forms, exactly what forms I use, the process of how the court system works, that's pretty much generic across all states. But again, there's different rules depending on the different obviously states, so you might have to go to the courthouse and ask for their rules of, like, what I mean by that is, for example, here in the state of California, you have 30 days to respond to the lawsuit, which is another name that they use as a complaint. But in another state, you might only have 20 days, 25. So just because in California it's 30 days doesn't mean that in Oregon or Washington, whatever state whatever state you live in, it's gonna be 30 days. So that's what I mean. Like, check with your court to find out, you know, the rules. I'm gonna teach you guys again the process, exactly what to do, how to do it. I have learned all of this from doing my own lawsuit and fighting my own lawsuit, and, you know, doing all the research my own. I'm basically saving you guys, honestly, I'm not even joking or exaggerating, 2 weeks of 5-hour days of pure research, because it's just a lot. When you don't know how to navigate the court system or what to do, how to do it, it can get even frustrating. My wife is a paralegal, and she practiced family law and personal injury. And this is just a whole different category, like a whole different, like, she knows how to file the forms and how to navigate the court system, but she doesn't know exactly how to, you know, it's like going to a foot doctor and then going to a plastic surgery. Like, even though they both studied in the medical field, it's two different, like, genres, you know. I hope that makes sense. But anyways, if you guys stay to the end of this video, I'm also going to be revealing a bunch of tips towards the middle or towards the end of the video of everything that I have learned from fighting my own credit card lawsuit. Things that I had no idea even existed, even with all my knowledge that I've learned just while doing all of this project. and I am going to be giving you guys everything absolutely for free. So make sure you listen up. This is the big one, guys. This is the video. This is the holy grail. I don't think you're gonna have to watch any other video of the way I made everything so simple and easy to understand. For your convenience, I will also add 100% for free Google Docs in the description and below this video. I'm gonna give you guys the PDFs, the notes, the blueprints, so you guys can follow along and download it, you know, for you guys to have it for your own reference, or if you guys want to screenshot it, again, whatever rocks your boat. Now, without further ado, I don't want to talk anymore. I'm just gonna get straight to the video. Alright, so first things first, again, this chart is going to be down in the description below. So I wanted to show you guys and explain to you guys and break down a little bit of the terminology so you guys can understand exactly what I'm talking about, because when you haven't been in the law field, a lot of the terminology and words that they use can get a little bit overwhelming, trust me. So let me make this actually a little bit smaller. Let me put this one down. We'll focus on this screen only. So this is where you're at, right? Your complaint. Complaint is a fancy word for a lawsuit, that you got served papers. That's exactly what they mean. So if you hear somebody say, oh, I just served them papers, oh, I just got a lawsuit, you basically, it's a complaint. That's what's called, okay? Plaintiff, I have even created little icons, whatever you want to call it. Plaintiff is the individual or oh my god, big typo, or company suing you, aka the debt collector. If you are being sued, you're always going to be the defendant. If you are suing somebody, they are going to be the defendant, okay, or vice versa, okay. So again, if you guys, I left the icon there because I can get a little bit confusing. So we're going to start from the beginning and show you guys. I'm going to break down the flow chart and explain to you guys the whole process from the beginning to the end. But I'm going to also focus on exactly what part of the lawsuit I am currently in the making of this video. And so yeah, as the making of this video, I am here. I'm in trial. My trial is set, and I will go to the San Bernardino website. We're going to do this live, and I'm going to show you guys, and I'm not bullshitting. I have a trial set in October 11th, I believe, of this year. Okay, my lawsuit started April or May of 2023. So because of all this fighting, I've been able to save myself some time, gather evidence, which hopefully you'll be able to do this too if you are able to respond and you haven't let the deadline, run out. So I am here, okay, my trial, and basically what happens is that I'm going to go to the court. The court's going to see all the evidence. We're going to go probably a little bit back and forth. I'm going to ask the judge to dismiss the case with prejudice. That is a key word. Again, that's another tip that I didn't know, is that whenever you're fighting a lawsuit, you want to make sure that if you're asking for it to get dismissed, or if it gets dismissed, you want to make sure you add with prejudice. That means that they can never come back for you. Nobody can open up this lawsuit anymore because you added with prejudice. So this is where I'm at. I already done the complaint. I already done all of these types of motions. I actually didn't do a motion to strike. I didn't do a motion to dismiss, a motion for a definitive statement. And honestly, the reason why I didn't do this is because in the back of my mind, I'm like, I need to make a video. I need to help other people. I need to be able to guide them. Like, I honestly didn't look at YouTube for like any research, but when I started looking, I'm like, there is no videos on how to do this. Like, how am I going to teach people how to do all of this when, like, I'm not even going to be able to, like, so I kind of purposely allowed it to get to this point to be able to create, document my experience, or my my case study. I don't know, but I purposely made sure to go through all of these steps to make even discovery, to make sure I get to this, so I'm able to document it and help a lot of you guys. Again, I'm not a lawyer, nor I'm pretending to be one, nor am I going to tell you that I'm going to be able to help you guys out or give you legal advice, because I can't. But I feel like if I can give you a piece of advice, or at least point you in the right direction, or at least have an understanding of what's going on in your case, if I have time, like, I honestly, truly love helping. Like, I don't know, my wife says I'm a people pleaser, like, I can't say no, whatever. But anyways, so again, I broke down what a complaint is. A complaint is basically a lawsuit, or if you hear somebody say, I've been served, this is what a complaint is. I'm going to show you guys the actual lawsuit on the screen right now. So when you get sued, this is the flow chart. This is what you guys have to follow in order. Like I mentioned before, I could have done motion to strike, motion to dismiss, but it doesn't mean that just because I did a motion doesn't mean that it was going to be granted. I could have done it, but I honestly didn't, because I wanted to get to this point, to have the knowledge to, basically learn, to trial and error and figure out how this process even works and how I can document it for you guys. So again, I got the complaint. I'm getting sued. I did not do this. I didn't do any type of motion. What I did is I answered to the complaint. So answer means complaint, and affirmative defensive goes hand in hand when you answer. So when you answer the lawsuit or the complaint, again, complaint equals lawsuit, lawsuit equals complaint. When you answer the lawsuit, you have to include the affirmative defenses. What are affirmative defenses? So affirmative defenses is basically like, one of your defenses can be like, plaintiff had not produced a contract with my name and signature on it, right? If you don't say that or you don't follow that, when you go to trial, you can't use that as a defense. And if you haven't put up any defenses, everything at trial that you can defend yourself, you won't be able to. Why? Because you had the chance to challenge and ask them questions beforehand and create that, reasonable doubt, and those are your defenses. That's what you're going to use to defend yourself on these cases. And I'm going to show you guys everything again, full transparency. I'm going to show you guys literally all the defenses that I use. I think it was like 20, 30. I can't even remember. It's been a while. But that's what I included when I answered. Once I answered, I think I waited. I can't remember if it was 2 weeks or 30 days. You don't have to. You can serve them discovery right away. What I ended up doing is I answered. I think I went on vacation actually. I went to Cancun. I went to Cancun. Show you guys a picture. I went to Xcaret with my wife. It was her birthday. And then when I came back, I was working on the discovery, and I sent a request for admission, request for production, in interrogatories. I did not do depositions or subpoenas because that's more for kind of Donald Trump stuff. If you guys know what I'm talking about. But I did request for admission, request for production, interrogatories. Again, I'm going to show you guys that. And then I filed them. When you file your discovery, I'm going to mention this later on in the video, you don't have to follow them with the court. You don't have to do anything. That just goes between you and the debt collector. Just make sure that when you send them your discovery, you pay that $4.35 to have it certified mail to say, hey judge, look, I have proof here that I mailed it and they received it. Okay, that's the only reason. Again, hopefully I didn't lose you. Let me start back again. Complaint is when you got sued, the lawsuit, which let me show you guys what my lawsuit looks like. This is it. This is what an actual lawsuit looks like, and I'm going to break it down with you guys on how to read this and how to kind of interpret it. Again, I know when you look at it, it can be very overwhelming. You're like, what the heck am I looking at? You don't understand. You can't decipher. You just see words and you just overwhelming. Once I break it down, you guys are going to be like, oh, it's going to be like reading a text message. So this is the complaint. This is the actual lawsuit. This is what a lawsuit looks like. It comes with a bunch of things. So the first thing that you want to do, if you got served, right? The ways that they can serve you is by substitute of service, or if they served you in person. What does that mean? Is that they hired a third-party company. They can't serve you in the mail. Is that they hired a third-party company to drop this envelope or drop these forms to your house or to somebody who lives there. So for example, in this case, I guess I have a confession to make, guys, and I didn't want to tell you guys, but I do have a confession to make. The lawsuit is not under my name. I am not personally getting sued. This is a really good family friend of mine that is getting sued. She had nowhere to turn, and she, for some reason, I don't know why it didn't occur to her to come ask me in the beginning, but after 2 weeks have passed by, she's like, hey Mitch, I'm getting sued. I have no idea what to do. Are you willing to help me? I'll pay you money, yada yada. Obviously, this is a family friend that I love, and I was upset at her because why did she hesitate to reach out? I have all this credit information, but I basically said absolutely, I'm gonna do it for you for free. Let me show you guys. Again, my last name is Alvarez, so let's just put it like that. Again, I'm not gonna show her information, but I am personally not getting sued. But the reason why I keep saying I'm getting sued is because I've been treating it like I've been sued. Every file, every form, I've gone to court with her. I've done from the beginning to where we are now, I've done every single thing. So I do feel like I'm getting sued. I feel no, I've done everything. So if you guys hear me sometimes say she, it's because, if I'm being honest, I'm not actually getting sued. She's getting sued, and I've been helping her with the process. Honestly, I wish I got sued. I'm not gonna lie. But hey, I asked her for permission, and she said she was willing to give me permission. But even if she didn't, I can just pull this up. It's public. It's public record. So, anyways, Pace. Thank you for Pacer. So where was I? So this is the lawsuit. Again, well, sorry, I went off topic. I really apologize. So the ways that you can get sued is by, like the way she got sued was, they had an address, a third party. It can't be somebody that works for the company. A third party individual went to knock at her sister's house. She does not live there. She has her own house, but she does live like 5 miles away from there. But she has her own house. They knocked at the sister's house. The sister house picked up. She's like, "Who are you guys?" And the guy's like, "Oh, it's X, this person here, and what is your name?" And then she was like, "No, I'm not gonna answer. Like, who are you? I don't know who you are." They're like, "Okay, well." They dropped the lawsuit. They gave it to her, even though she didn't identify herself, even though she didn't verify anything. As long as they can drop it off to somebody in front of their door, that means you got served. Or they can serve it to you in person. If they see you in person, you identify yourself. They hand you the paperwork, or they can throw it in the floor. They can honestly throw it in the window. As long as they served you, I don't agree with it, but that's just the law. So that's how you can get served. And then that's how. Then the sister gave the lawsuit, like the whole packet in a vanilla envelope, to her, and then she gave it to me. But this is what the lawsuit looks like. We're gonna break it down and show you guys exactly how to decipher this. Okay, what are these names right here? Right? What are these names? Well, these are the attorneys. There's several. I don't even know why, but there's several attorneys that work for this company. Again, it's not assigned to one specific attorney, because again, they do this at a large quantity. Like, they do this every day. So like, they don't these are just people who work for the company. And the company is called Mandarich Law Group LLP. They're in Chicago, Illinois. I don't know if I could have showed the number or their fax number, but I was like, I'll be generous. So Mandarich Group is a debt collector. It says right there. So what does this tell me? It tells me that these are the people that are working for this company, Mandarich Law Group, and that Mandarich Law Group is a debt collector. So that's what this information is. It's basically like when you write a letter, you're like, when you write an actual letter to the post office, you know how in the corner you put who's it from? That's basically what it is. Here it's going to show you exactly, it's going to give you the name of the courthouse. And again, when they sue you, they have to sue you in the jurisdiction, in the not jurisdiction, jurisdiction, the venue, that's what they call it, the fancy word of, they basically have to choose a courthouse that's close to where you live. They can't sue you and have you go to Chicago or go to Los Angeles or go to Anaheim. No, they have to sue you in the appropriate venue, which means location. Venue means location that you live in. Okay, so she lives in San Bernardino, so they obviously have to use the courthouse of San Bernardino. And again, here it is, another box, and it's showing you Calvary, an assignee of the department store National Bank. I have been fixing credit for many years, so I know what National Bank means. That's basically a Macy's credit card. So it's basically telling you who is suing you, and then would be your name or my name or whatever. So here's going to show the name of the company suing you, and they're saying that they're an assignee of the department store National Bank, which I call bullshit on that, but that's going to be for another video. Bestest is going to be your name. You are an individual and does 1 through 10 inclusive defendant. Remember, defendant is you. Here, look in the chart. Please disregard my typo. I'll probably try to fix this right now. Defendant is you. So again, and I'm gonna break it down. Okay, so basically, let me just recap. This is basically the company's name who's suing you, the name of it, the attorney's law firm name, what courthouse you're gonna have to go file your stuff at, the name of it, the name of the company who's suing you again, and then this is you. They're gonna put the case number, and it's basically like a DMV, driver's license number, that they can track the case. Complaint, again, complaint is lawsuit. It's just a fancy word in the legal world. I want you guys to notice, look very closely, because these debt collectors are getting very smart in the way, well, not very smart. They just found a way to be able to kind of win their cases a little and make it more difficult for people like myself that are trying to win this lawsuit. Notice here that they're not suing for, what is it called? Breach of contract. That's what it's called. Breach of contract, saying that I didn't follow the contract and I was supposed to pay it back. They're doing this strategically for a reason. Excuse me. Because they want to be able for you not to be able to use, well, like, because if they sued you for a breach of contract, you can tell them, okay, show me the contract. They can't provide a contract, boom, case dismissed, case closed, you win, they lose. They can't do that, so that's why they don't put that reason why they're suing you. They're suing you for account stated, for one count, and then the second count is for open book account. This makes it a little bit more difficult for someone who doesn't know about the law, but unfortunately for them, they have teaching me account stated and open book on how to fight this lawsuit in this book. So they tough out of luck there. That's how heavy that book is. The demand is saying that I owe them $2,072.02. Plaintiff basically means Calvary alleges saying. So facts common to all causes of action. Plaintiff is and at all times herein mentioned Calvary SPV LLC as assignee of the department store National Bank and successors in interest to the original department store of National Bank. This first sentence is very crucial, guys, because I always tell people, like, read your lawsuits. Figure out who is actually suing you. Is it Citibank or is it Calvary? Because those are two different types of entities. Again, it's like McDonald's and Burger King. Like, they sell the same burgers, but it's completely different people, okay? So right off from this sentence, it's telling me that Calvary bought the debt from Macy's, and it's into their interest to collect money for the original creditor, which is not. It's again two separate things. But now, when you read this in your own lawsuit, you're able to determine, okay, Macy's is not suing me. Calvary SPV is suing me. Period. They're not suing me on behalf. They're not suing me as a party. No, they're suing me to try to collect money. Period. This lawsuit has nothing to do with Macy's. Plaintiff is the only entity that purchased the debt after charge-off, and its name and addresses as follows: Calvary, an assignment department store, an American Lane, blah 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 blah. What does this mean? This is basically telling me that they're a debt collector and that they bought my charge-off collection account, charge-off negative account for pennies on the dollar. Okay? See, even a judge won't be able to understand exactly what it is because they don't study the law. They're just there to, like, they're just a referee. Honestly, that's literally what a judge is. Plaintiff, again, is telling me is a debt buyer and is the sole owner of the debt at issue. Plaintiff's California debt collector license application is currently pending. Again, that's just basically saying the facts that he is a debt collector. You can interpret this as they bought the debt for pennies on the dollar. And it goes on, and it just, it's a bunch of stuff that I'm not going to break down in this video because this video is probably already going to be very long, and I'm not trying to make it long for you guys. But we'll break this down in a different video. So this is what the lawsuit is. Why is it so important for you to break down? Because you need to decipher who's actually suing you. A lot of people would see department stores a National Bank. They would think, okay, this store, a National Bank, that I owe $2,000. Oh, who did I default to? You think you think Macy's or Chase or American Express is suing you, but no, it's actually this law firm that is acting as a debt collector. Okay, that's it. Now, step number 2 in the process is you have to respond to this lawsuit. Okay, so the first thing that you need to do, let me just recap, is you need to find out who is suing you, and the best way to find out is look at who's in the title. It doesn't matter if they put assignee of department store. That's just basically saying that they bought the debt and that they assumed all responsibility for it, without any promises from whether they be able to collect or not. They just bought the debt. Now, one thing that I do want you guys to know is that when you guys get your lawsuits from wherever, like here, I live in California. It's San Bernardino, the city of San Bernardino. So what you need to do is go to Google. We live in a day and age where, like, technology and everything can be found on Google. So CIB means for civil, and SB stands for San Bernardino. And this right here that I blocked off is the case number. So what you're gonna have to do, excuse me, let me drink some water. So what you're gonna have to do is go to Google and click San Bernardino. Actually, no, not that one. Oops, sorry, no, that's just my stocks. Let me just check something real quick. Okay, my bad. Where is my Google? So once you get your case number, which is going to be in every file in the lawsuit, it's going to be very easy to find. Just go look for something that says CIV. This might change depending on the county or where you live, and then you're just going to have to copy and paste this number into the court's website. So let's just go to Google. I'm going to act like I'm a brand new beginner and I don't know what the hell I'm doing, and we're going to go to San Bernardino website, right? So you're just going to go San Bernardino Superior Court and click on it. Oh, okay, well, the good thing about Google, when it gives you information, there's not a lot of courthouses. It's not like you put hamburgers and there's going to be 1,000 that pop up. So I obviously go to case information, but let's just go like if I'm completely newbie, we're going to go and we're going to, again, our case is civil, CIV, limited, okay? This is what it means, limited civil case. So you're going to go and try to like, okay, when you're like, okay, I need to find information. What do I do? Just read. Like, don't let all of these tabs overwhelm you. Read them one by one, and I promise you that you're just gonna be like, okay, I got this, because you got this. So what are we trying to do? We're trying to find out, going to civil case. So divisions, these are all the divisions in the court. You have mental health, juvenile, family law, yada yada yada, traffic. So civil, okay, I'm being sued, that's what it means. Go down, you're gonna be like, okay, let me read, okay? You're gonna be like, let me read, okay, which one might pertain to me, okay? So you're gonna go, okay, not this one, I'm not a landlord, I don't have unclaimed funds, which ought to be great. Court case information, that's what I need. Perfect, so you're gonna go, okay, court access portal. You're gonna have to create an account. I have an account already. Again, and I can access anybody's record. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be yours. It's public information. You just have to pay. But for this kind of stuff, I think it's free. I didn't have to pay because I'm very cheap, so I didn't pay. I would have if I had to, but I don't like to. So what you have to do is gonna search. Okay, I need to search case information. So you're gonna go case number, citation number, party search, business search. None of these feel like makes sense to me because I don't have a citation number. I'm not looking for a party or business. Oh, I have a case number because this is where I found my case number. Click on it and you can click search, and boom, it gives you all of the information. See, I'm not even joking. I wasn't even joking or lying. The filing date was in May. They sued me. Filing date means the day that they submitted the forms to sue me. They tried to submitted the information to sue me on May 3rd of 2023. So see, this is my trial date, which I don't think it's gonna get to that point, and I'm gonna break down in another video all of these other things that I'm gonna be doing. But I'll keep you guys updated, trust me. So we can click here to parties, we can click here to events, hearings, causes, documents, financials. Honestly, this is just going to be basically the same information, but if you want a little bit more in depth, like let's say for example, I lost a package, I lost the paperwork I lost a lawsuit, like I don't know where I left it, and you're trying to print out a new forms. Well, if you go here to documents, it has everything documented, and I'm going to show you guys exactly what I mean by that. So I'm going to scroll down, and it's going to show you this is this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. All of these from like here are paperwork that they filed to start the lawsuit and process. When they were able to serve, my good friend's sister, they have to update the website, and they put proof of substitute service filed, and this was on June 12th. Now, once you got the information, well, I went ham. Once you get served, you only have, in California, I can't remember, I have to look at my notes, but it's might be, I think it's anywhere from 25 to 30 days. But you don't want to wait to the last minute, like you shouldn't. But if you, like, for example, just finally had that courage and you want to go ahead and fight your lawsuit, even if you don't want to fight your lawsuit, but you need to buy time, file an answer. I can't tell you how important it is. Like, if you don't file the answer, they're going to file for a default summary judgment, and it's basically going to tell the judge, they didn't answer the lawsuit. That means that everything that they have alleged, because of your silence, because you didn't respond to anything, you basically admitted to everything they're accusing you. This is why it's so important to file an answer, even though you're not going to fight the lawsuit as extensive as like I would or a lawyer would, but you have to answer. Buy yourself time. So this was me. Once I got the paperwork, I got the ball rolling. Answered, filed. What does that mean? That means that I answered the lawsuit and I submitted all of the appropriate paperwork to the courthouse to, say, hey, I'm fighting this lawsuit. I have responded. Here I am. Let's go. That's basically what I did, but in a very more professional setting. So all of this is going to tell you all of the information. There was a court. We went to court, I believe, in December. Let me scroll. I don't want to show her information. We went to court. See, it was in December. It was December 15th. We went to court, and then we had another hearing on the. We went to court. We spoke to the judge, and then we went to another court hearing on the 11th. And basically, on this 11th, basically gave me the new court for trial, which is October 11th of this year. Which I'm going to be updating you guys everything as much as I possibly can. But yeah, so if you ever need information or a case, you go click right here, PDF. I don't want to click it because I don't want. Okay, let me just do it. Let's see, answer filed. If I click on it, it's gonna show me the paperwork that I submitted, which I'll show you guys are gonna be able to see this. So if I wanted, they only show you 2 pages. I think this was how many pages? I think it tells you right here. Answer filed, 4 pages. So for every page, if I wanted to buy additional pages, it's telling you that you would have to pay 50 cents per page. So that's $2, which again, you can do it. Okay, now that I kind of broke down this part, now we can forget about it and exit out. But I just want to show you guys how to navigate the court's website. So again, you're going to defend yourself. You're going to answer. Regardless of whether you're going to fight the lawsuit or not, you need to answer before the deadline. Here are all the forms that you need to file in order to answer to this lawsuit and to not give a guilty and not accept the guilty by your silence. In the courthouse, in the court system, if you don't respond, if you don't defend yourself, if you don't say anything, that means you have admitted to all of the accusations by silence. It's like something universal. I actually didn't know this. I didn't know that if you stay quiet and ignore it, you basically admit it, and now you can defend your lawsuit, even though, let's say, for example, let's say that lawsuit really doesn't belong to you. Like, let's say they're really suing the wrong person. But because you didn't answer, you admitted to everything they're accusing you by your silence, and now you can't defend yourself. Honestly, when it comes to something more complex like that, you would have to get a lawyer. Like, I think you can still fight it because that book gave me like a section on it, but I didn't read it. But I'm like, that is just like crazy. Like, so again, I can't stress enough how important it is to answer a lawsuit, aka complaint. I don't care what you do, you have to answer. So what is a motion? Okay, motion is just a fancy word for ordering the court to do something. So order to strike, order to dismiss, order for more. Like, you're asking the court to do this. That's what motion means. I don't know why. It's just this is how the system works. So please avoid this part because I didn't do any of this. I'm telling you guys, I didn't. I could have filed a motion for summary judgment. I could have done it. I didn't do it. So we're here. You got the lawsuit, and now we're here. You have to answer and submit your affirmative defenses. Now, how to answer a complaint is a lot of few forms that you have to fill out. And one of the forms that I had to fill out, let's go, let me see. I'm gonna try to get them in order, so bear with me. Okay. So this was the original lawsuit, okay? I'm gonna close this down. I'm gonna push this to the side. Again, if you guys would like a copy of this, it's gonna be down in the link it's gonna be in the link in the description below. So this is the response. This is a lawsuit. It's called pleading paper. This is what it looks like. If you guys would like it more zoomed or less zoomed, please let me know down in the comments. So when I make videos, do you guys prefer to see like this or actually like bigger, how I've been like showing it to you guys? Just drop it down in the comments below so I can like I get some feedback. Again, it's my first time doing a video like especially like this, so like this works for me, but I don't know if it like I want to make it easier for you guys. Okay, so this is my answer. Defendant, again, defendant. Defendant is you, okay? Defendant, Mitch Alvarez, obviously I blurred the name. Okay, so how to respond? Let me just start from the beginning, sorry. Here is going to be your name and your address. Defendant and propria persona. It's just, I think it's Italian for pro per. Pro per is a fancy word that you have to use in the courthouse system to say you are defending yourself. You are representing yourself in this lawsuit. That's basically telling the judge, I don't have a lawyer, I'm representing myself. Pro per, propria persona. I think those are the only two. There's another one, but I can't remember off the top of my head. But I just call it pro per because I don't like to propria persona. Like it's just too much for me. But it's very widely accepted to say pro per. Pro per. I know it sounds weird, but I don't know. That's just how the court system. So defendant basically saying the person who got sued is defending themselves, is representing themselves. So I have to put here Superior Court of California, San Bernardino, Justice Center, Limited Civil. I have to put on top that they're the ones suing me. So they're the plaintiff always goes on top, defendant always goes in the bottom. So here's my name. Well, not my name, but I would put my name, Mitch Alvarez, the case numbers right there. Defendant Mitch Alvarez answers to complaint, which is a lawsuit complaint, answers to complaint and affirmative defenses. I am putting my affirmative defenses, and I'm going to show you guys what the affirmative defenses that I use right now. But before I go down this video, I'm going to show you guys all of the forms. Please, please, please don't get overwhelmed. I think it's like 4 or 5. It is a lot, but just please, please do not get overwhelmed, and just bear with me, okay? So this is the response to the lawsuit, aka complaint. Okay, the next form. Let me bring up. Okay, put this right here. I'm gonna put the forms in order. So this is number 1. Basically this is number 1, but this is okay. There are 2 ways, I think 3, but I'm just gonna say 2 because these are the ones that I am personally have experience with. There are 2 ways to submit submit your response to the lawsuit. One is that you can do it through it's called fax mail, so it's basically you fax it to the courthouse, or you can go in person and file all of these forms with the clerk. Yes, that's more You might have to wait in line, park, but hey, you know what? You have that peace of mind that you got that you submitted all your paperwork with a live person. Again, it's just preference. I actually did not have time for this. I have a job and I'm trying to, I do certain other things on the side, so I didn't have time. But again, this is where my wife was like, why don't you just fax it if you don't have time? And I was like, what? She's like, yeah, just fax it. We do that all the time in the law firm. And I said, okay, perfect. And she's like, I was like, how do I do that? She's like, you just go to the court website and they have all the information there. So what she did is that she got this form called MC-005. Here, you're going to put your name and your address, your telephone number, and you're not going to put, I think I put my name here. I don't know why I blocked it, but this you're going to leave it blank. You're going to put the address of the courthouse. And then the mailing address, you're going to have to re-put it again because it's the same address for the courthouse. San Bernardino, I think I messed up here. It wasn't a probate division. It was actually civil, but whatever. The plaintiff, again, plaintiff is the company suing you, so it's going to be obviously Calvary. The defendant is you, so you're going to put Mitch Alvarez. You're going to include your case number. And then what this form is, it's basically saying it's like the first page. It's the first page saying all of the paperwork that you're submitting. I'm submitting. This is the cover sheet of telling the court all of the forms that I'm submitting. The defendant's Mitch Alvarez answers to complaint and affirmative defenses, which would be this one right here. You're going to put certificate of assignment. You need that. So let me pull that up so you guys can see what it looks like. This is what it looks like. Let me make it a little smaller. I'll make them bigger right now. Just bear with me just so I can show you guys. So we got this certificate of assignment, proof of service, which is, I think it's this one. I actually did sign, this is an example one that I actually typed for you guys to have as reference. But so on your proof of service, honestly, on your proof of service, I ended up actually signing it with my name because I was the one that I'm telling the judge. Again, it could have been her, but since I was the one actually mailing it, I'm basically testifying like I am certifying that I am sending all of this by mail and it was me. That's it. So I literally actually, this was an example, but on the original one I did type my name and I did sign it. But this is just a document for you guys to have as reference. So again, recap. You need this one, this one, this one, this one, and then my civil case cover sheet, this one. And again, I couldn't have made it any easier. Okay, your name, your address, your cell phone number, the address of the courthouse, limited division. You're gonna click limited because again, it's kind of self-explanatory, but a lot of people don't feel even comfortable checking boxes because they don't know exactly what it means. But you would have to check limited because they're suing me for $2,000. Okay, where's the lawsuit at? Sorry, I lost it. 1 second. So this is a lawsuit. They're suing me for $2,000. So it's $25,000 or less. So that's why I checked limited. I checked Rule 370. Don't ask me, just trust me. Check this, mark this one. This case is not complex under blah blah blah. So you're gonna check that one, check that one, check that one. Date and sign. Okay, that is actually the name of the judge. These are the real forms. These are the legit. I just made copies of them. So we got the civil cover case, and then now we need. Oh, so glad I totally would have forgot about this. Thank God it was here. Okay. Now to submit all of these forms, it costs money. This is, it's like, I'm not 100% sure, but this would have cost anywhere from like $300 to $435, maybe even $500 due to inflation. You have to pay to to submit all of this information, but most of the time, like, if you're getting sued and you're in collections, or like, I'm not telling you to lie on these forms. I'm just saying they don't really check. You don't get what I'm saying. But most often than not, most people that I know that have collections or don't have, or have problems, are getting sued, do have assistance. So if you have food stamps, which is nothing to be embarrassed of. I mean, I remember my mom being on them at one point. Like, I'm proud of it. You have Medi-Cal. I was on Medi-Cal before. Cal works. I'm not sure exactly what all of this means. I think I know what WIC means, unemployment. So if you definitely qualify under any of these, just check one of them or all of them or whichever one applies to you, and they're gonna waive all of your fees. You don't have to pay anything to submit all your paperwork. You put your name, mailing address, city, your phone number, state of your state, zip code. You put the case number. You put who's suing you, and again, Calvary is suing Mitch Alvarez. You check this one, because you're saying that you're receiving one of these items. You print your name and then you sign it. So you leave all of this blank. And then when you're going to request to waive your court fees, you also need to file one more form, which is this one. They look kind of identical, so just be very, very careful. You see how this FW1, this one's FW3. Order on court, excuse me, court fee waivers. So again, you're gonna, very simple. Honestly, these forms I can totally understand why they might seem overwhelming, but just again, take a breather, drink a Coke, or just whatever. Stay in your zone. Put your name, your last name, your mailing address, city and state. If you had a lawyer, your lawyer would put their lawyer information there. You're gonna put here the Superior Court County of San Bernardino. You're going to put your case number. You're going to put your case name. What is your case name? You're going to put Calvary versus Mitch Alvarez. So how would that look like? It's going to look like this. Calvary SPI LLC. You don't have to put an assignee, none of that. You would just put Calvary SPVI LLC versus Mitch Alvarez. Right here. Boom. That's it. You're going to click check mark this one. Request to waive court fees. Leave everything else blank. Do not touch anything. Click your name. Click your case number. And again, your name, your case number. The clerk's office is going to do the rest. So just do what I'm telling you and you'll be fine. So now that you have all of this, you have your answers and your affirmative defenses. You got 1, 2, proof of service. Anytime you, even for discovery, again, I won't touch about discovery on this video, but when it comes to discovery, you're going to have to, every time you're going to send a paperwork to the court or to the opposing counsel, with this will be, opposing counsel means Calvary, you're going to have to always send a proof of service, basically saying like what documents are you sending. And if you guys can see here, let me make it bigger for you guys. You're putting exactly the forms that you're sending. Answers to the complaint and affirmative defenses, civil case cover sheet, certificate of assignment. Boom. You always write that down. And again, I'm going to make videos. Again, I think it would be, I don't know if you guys would want to, but I just will do it. So you guys don't have to watch this whole video over. I'm going to actually create another video on how to type this form. And hopefully that video I can make it in 5 minutes instead of you having to watch this video and try to find exactly when I was talking about this. So we got 1, 2, 3. You need a civil cover sheet right there. And then you got your court waiver form, so you don't have to pay $1. And honestly, they're gonna accept it. I don't see why they wouldn't. You don't have to do anything. If they don't accept your court waiver, they'll notify you, but you're just gonna get accepted, trust me. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 forms that we're going to be sending to the courthouse. So this is all of the documents that you need to answer to the complaint. You're going to need this one, which you're going to say, comes now defendant Mitch Alvarez and answers the complaint as follows. 1 through 4 consecutively, defendant has no knowledge and denies ever entering any agreement with the plaintiff. And honestly, she's not lying. She never entered into any type of agreement with Calvary. The alleged debt, she honestly, like, even, okay, hypothetical, let's say she did owe Macy's. Let's say she did get a credit card. That's irrelevant to this case, because whether she got that credit card from Macy's, she got it from Macy's, not Calvary. Like, she made a contract with Macy's, not Calvary. She had an agreement with Macy's, not Calvary. Like, I hope this is making sense of what I'm trying to point out. So that's what it's basically what it's saying. This is very simple to answer. Okay, we're gonna break this down in another video. But this is the how to answer to the complaint. This is the form that you're gonna need. This form, that form, this form, that form, and this form. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. This one is going to be optional, because if you don't fax it, you don't need this. But you still going to need a cover sheet. And again, I'll show you guys in another video how to pull up a cover sheet. Just click here. This does not look like it is. So just click here. Hell no, but you already have an idea what it looks like, right? Because you're looking at my video. So this is how the cover sheet looks like. Sorry, it was right here. This is how a cover sheet should look like. Okay, so you're like, okay, that's not what Mitch showed me. I don't think it's this one. Let's see. You guys want to look for something that says civil. There's nothing civil there, so see. Let's go here and then just read. Okay, go to civil harassment form instruction, name change. Oh my god, it flew over my head. Well, this one is a cover sheet, but this is not what I need. See, this one would be this one right here. So this is how you type it. Mitch Alvarez. You know what, I'll do that for another video, because I know this video is probably long. Sorry about that. Alright guys, so again, to file an answer, you're going to need all of these forms. You only need to have this one if you're sending it through fax. I'm going to show you guys another video on how you guys can look it up for your courthouse. I'll even do it for how I did it for the San Bernardino courthouse. But let's say, for example, I'm going to go and file this lawsuit in person because it's just overwhelming. You don't want to risk doing it on fax and it getting lost or whatever your case might be. All you need is this one. You don't need this, okay? Let me recap. You don't need this one because you're not faxing. You only need this piece of this form if you're sending it through fax. If you don't send it through fax, you can disregard this one, and this is what you're going to need. 1, you're going to need your proof of service, your certificate of assignment, okay? Certificate of assignment, your civil case cover sheet. I know they might all look alike, but they're all different in their own way. Click on here. You're going to need your court order fee waiver, because we're not spending $400, $500, $300, even $5 to file this if we don't have to, okay? This is what you need. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I'm missing one, sorry. 1, 2, 3. There we go. 4, 5, and then 6. These are all the forms that you need to answer the lawsuit or complaint, whatever you feel more comfortable, whatever goes into your brain easier. To me, I just go back and forth, but this is all of the forms that you need to answer and by yourself sometimes. Now, I know you might be wondering, what do I do next? After I file this, Mitch, what do I have to do? Like, what's next? How much do I have to wait? Well, I'm going to tell you guys right now, okay? So we're going to go back to my flow chart that I created. Again, all of the links, this PDF will be absolutely free for you to have. It's going to be down in the links. It's going to be down in the link. It's going to be down in the description below. All of the links are going to be down in the description below. And again, you got your complaint. Again, you can scratch this one off. We're not looking at this one. You just answered the complaint and affirmative defenses. You're responding to each allegation of the plaintiff's complaint. States defendant's allegations and defense and demands a jury trial. I did demand a jury trial. I'm going to show you guys right here. Demand for jury trial. You have to put it in bold and put that. Defendant Mitch Alvarez demands a jury trial in all facts so triable. Again, I don't know why they have to write it like that, but you just have to. And you want a jury trial. You don't want the judge to, I mean, the judge can be very impartial, but you honestly want a jury. You want people to understand, like, hey, we have hard times. Like, I've been there. I've been where this guy's at. Maybe, you know, maybe if they feel like you didn't defend your case at all, but people do have sympathy and people are human. So, so what's going to happen? You answered your affirmative defensive, right? What you have to do? Well, let me just tell you guys. You guys just sent all of this paperwork to the courthouse. Now, the next thing that you have to do, it's not over yet. You have to send all of these forms. You got to go to Staples. If you have your own printer, print all of these out. Make a copy for yourself, or just keep the PDF somewhere safe where it's not going to get lost. You have to now mail it to Calvary. I know you're like, oh my God, I just submitted this to the courthouse. The courthouse is the most important part. I don't care if you don't have time to send Calvary or the debt collectors like forms. It's fine. As long as you send it to the courthouse by the deadline, you're fine. You can do Calvary tomorrow, okay? So but here's the forms that you have to send to Calvary. You don't have to send Calvary this one. You're not going to send them this one, and you're not going to send them this one. They don't need to know. They don't need to know about your waiving fees. All you need to send them is your civil cover sheet, your certificate of assignment, your proof of service, and your response to the lawsuit, which is your answers and your affirmative defenses. These are the forms that you have to now send to Calvary, and you have to send it certified mail. Spend the $4.35. This is coming from my cheap ass. Spend the $4.35 so you can have proof and keep it somewhere safe. Make a copy of it. Take a picture of it. So you have proof and an actual tracking number to say, and there's proof that you did mail it to Calvary, because you have to. By law, like, I don't know why, you just have to. The important part is to file an answer with the court, but then you also have to send Calvary this, okay? So again, recap, you send all your forms to the court, or you fax them. I showed you guys exactly what you needed. Now, the next step to finish this step is you have to mail Calvary a copy of what you submitted to the courthouse. You get your certified mail copy, go home, take a day off, take a week off, relax, chill. Like, the hard part is done. I mean, well, it depends how you look at it, but I know, like, you can be overwhelming. Consider this a win. You actually stood up and you advocated for your consumer rights, your rights that you're born with. Like, oh my God, it sounds like a Trumpster, but like, hey, be proud of yourself. Like, you just navigated through the court system. You answered. You did $5,000 worth of paperwork right now, all for just investing. I don't know how long this video is going to be, 40 to an hour times, and figuring it all out. And guess what? You live to see another day. Now you don't have to worry about paying them the $2,000, paying them the $5,000 that you owe, even 10, 20. It doesn't matter the amount you owe them. Like, you bought yourself time. Now I know what you guys are thinking. Well, what is my next move? Well, I'm going to show you guys in another video, because this one's way too long. And I'm going to show you guys, okay, what's the next step after this video. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope for those who stayed at the end, I appreciate your time. I hope that I was able to kind of break this down in a simple, for those of you guys who stayed to the end, I really appreciate your time. I really hope that this was valuable information. Again, all of the links are going to be down in the description below. Please grab all the free PDF examples that I have. I do sell it for, I hope this was valuable. I hope that I was able to not overwhelm you. I know it's a lot of paperwork, but what's better, doing it yourself and saving yourself like a $500 to $1,000 to $2,000, or just whatever. Thank you for your time. I hope this was informative. I hope this was nothing but valuable information. I hope that I was able to guide you and kind of clear your mind of exactly what you have to do, and giving you a big overview of how the court system, the court actually works. It's not that complicated. It's very simplified, but it's, again, when you don't know what you're doing, it gets overwhelming and frustrated. But now that you guys have this flow chart, you guys are set up for success. Like, there's no reason why you shouldn't answer your you can't answer the lawsuit. Again, I'm going to show you guys in another video how to type this one. I'm going to show you guys how to type it and exactly how to answer to your custom lawsuit. Again, this is not legal advice. This is not telling you what to do. I'm just giving you an example based on my experience. I'm going to put you're going to need the actual lawsuit next to, like, again, I'll go into that in the next video. I don't want to overwhelm you. I'm going to show you guys how to write all of this pertaining to your situation. In the other video, I'm going to show you guys what to do after you guys file your lawsuit with the courthouse, and after you sent the forms to Calvary. What's the next step? You can actually take a little bit of break, take a breather, because what we're going to do now, we're going to send discovery. You don't have to wait for them to send you discovery. You can propound. Propound means send them. Sorry, just when I get into the legal terms, like, all of the legal words come out. But that's how lawyers speak. You can propound discovery on them, which basically means you can send them discovery. What the discovery means is that you can ask them a series of questions, asking them for proof that they have to provide. And believe it or not, within 30 days of your answer, they're going to send you discovery. So either you can wait till they send you discovery, or you can send them discovery. It's totally up to you. What I did, I actually waited. I'm not going to lie. I don't know if you guys heard me mention it in the beginning, but I went to Cancun, and then I started doing all of this. I first answered. I can't remember, but I'm going to show you guys in another video the discovery that I sent and how you guys can send them yourself. Again, I really hope that this motivated you and encouraged you, or helped you in any way, shape, or form, or kind of at least guide you how the court system works. If you guys don't want to, if you guys feel like I can't do any of this, I'm not computer savvy, you're like, I don't want to deal with them, I don't want to go to court, I'm too embarrassed, this is too much for me, I can't do this, Mitch, I will include in the description below an offer settlement that you can send them, so you guys can start negotiation before you guys even have to do all of this. Again, I do want to let you know that if you send them like a proposal to pay them off, they will probably ignore that letter. So it is in your best interest to answer the complaint, the lawsuit, because they're like, well, even if I've offered them $1,500, they're like, if they don't answer this lawsuit, I can get $2,000. So again, just do what works best for you. But I will down in the description below, I will leave the link of the settlement offer to settlement, where you can send them. And this is a customizable one that I created for another client for another friend of mine, because this is not my first rodeo. A lot of people don't actually go through the whole lawsuit process. But if you guys found that informative, like, again, it's going to be down there. If you guys don't want to deal with them, you guys can send them that letter and just try to start negotiations. But I wish you the best of luck. Any comments, any suggestions, you can put them down in the description below. Put them down in the comments. Sorry, that's how you know I'm tired. This video was long. Put them down in the comments below what I could have done better. So if you guys don't want to deal with any of this, and you know what, I just want to pay them, I want to offer them an amount, I want to settle, I will in the description below, I will put a link below so you guys can look at the PDF letter that you could send them, so you guys can start negotiations, or offer to settle the amount. And this is not a Google one. You can go to Google and there'll be a lot of free ones, so please go ahead and do that. But if you want to use the one that I use, feel free to click the link down in the description below. You guys have any questions or suggestions on what type of video specifically you would like me to make, put them down in the comments. I do check my comment section like once or twice a week, and I do gather data, and I will try to help you guys. If you guys want me to make a video, I will. I do have a lot of spare time now, because I'm not heavily involved in a project that I was involved in for a year. So I am going to be back on YouTube full time. I need to help people. COVID happened, and I'm seeing a lot of people with credit problems and credit issues, and I'm not saying that I'm not a credit repair company, but if you guys are into that DIY route, I will show you guys how to do it for free. Just watch the videos and just get educated. Again, thank you so much for your time. I hope you guys learned something new. I hope this was very informative, and I hope it doesn't overwhelm you. I hope it encourages you. I hope that it gives you that courage to fight, to not give up, and to like at least file an answer. Okay, if you don't do anything, just file an answer. So because again, I can't express how important it is that if you don't answer to the lawsuit, to the complaint, all of your silence will be deemed as guilty, and they will file a summary judgment. And then once they file the summary judgment, they will be able to garnish your checks. Again, I don't mean to scare you guys, but I'm trying to be as truthful as possible, and I can't stress the fact that you have to answer to the lawsuit. Well, again guys, I'll see you guys in the next video. The next video is going to be discovery and what to do. Actually no, the next video is going to be what to do after you filed your answer and your affirmative defense.